Over the weekend, the Liberal Democrats have made their intentions quite clear. They are no longer a viable third-party option in Parliament, unless you're an idealist or an incredibly young person who was not eligible to vote last time or an ardent Remoaner. I say this after having watched their precious little conference where a number of statements were made by Jo Swinson, by Chuka Umunna, and former Belgian Prime Minister Guy Verhofstadt. Guy Verhofstadt is an MEP and a member of the Alliance of Liberals and Democrats for Europe within the European Parliament. He said that we cannot continue to be friends with a Europe that is always acting too little and too late. In a world order of tomorrow, the world order of tomorrow is not a world order based on nation-states or countries, it is based on empires. China is not a nation, it's a civilization. Oppressive regime, but sure. India, you know it better than I do, is not a nation. There are 2,000 nations in India, there are 20 different languages that are used there. The point is he wants an empire. Where have I heard that before? Guy Verhofstadt also called for a European army because of the threat of Russia, and then used US's budget and efficiency and compared to EU's budget and efficiency. Quite frankly, all Guy Verhofstadt is doing is confirming the long-held suspicions of the desire for the EU to push for an EU army. Granted, he is just an MEP, but he is one held in high regard. On to other things people said. The Liberal Democrats have pledged that should they win the next general election, they will cancel Brexit. Chuka Umunna saying that if Brexit happened, and then they won, they would immediately seek to rejoin the EU. Members were voting for the new policy at their party conference in Bournemouth, and they voted by an overwhelming majority to cancel Brexit. We can all say, yes, but that's probably 6 people in the bathroom of a McDonald's. I think there are a few more than that, but still the point stands. Jo Swinson has said that we will do all we can to fight for our place in Europe and stop Brexit altogether. You have 17 MPs, half of whom are defectors. At the next general election, you might win some more seats from Labour especially, for their inconsistent stance. You might be able to nab 1 or 2 of the very old seats held by the Conservatives that are in central London. But that's only if you campaign on one-dimensional policy. In fact, if you are just a one-dimensional party, should you do the one thing or not do the one thing you say you're going to do, you're done. Your end game is Brexit. And that's only because the party is well known for reneging on everything else they claim to stand for. People haven't forgotten or forgiven you for 2010 to 2015. Previously, the party had backed a people's vote, saying that they would campaign to remain. Well, naturally, they have moved on from this. They've moved on to then say, you know what, we're just going to stop it. Because this is too hard, And it's so much easier to have others dictate what we can and can't do. It's nice to have our potential capped. That's what I like. That's what everyone likes, right? To know that you could do and be so much more, but you can't unless you obey something you have no say in. And that's even with us as members of it. Oh, but we can affect change. No, you cannot. You really cannot. Stop deluding yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to your members. Stop lying to potential members. Stop lying to the country. Jo Swinson also confirmed that before an election is called, the Liberal Democrats would continue to work with other opposition parties for a further referendum. Some MPs, including some within Boris's cabinet, have said they would vote Remain if another referendum happened. To do so would be the biggest insult to democracy in this country, and the fact that the Liberal Democrats have so blatantly gone against them shows you just the kind of party they are. During an interview with BBC Radio 4, she said that we will want to have a people's vote. We've been arguing for that for at least 3.5 years. The Brexit deal needs to go before the public in a referendum. When we have an election, if we haven't had a people's vote, people will be looking to resolve the issue of Brexit. And there are so many people in this country who are so sick of hearing it. That's because we were meant to leave at the end of March. But we didn't because the deal Theresa presented was trash and you guys rightly voted it down. But unless I'm mistaken, you also couldn't come to a decision or agreement as to how to proceed, because some of you are only interested in yourselves or the easy way out. If something is easy to obtain, is it really worth having? The answer should be no, by the way, because it's soft. because it's crumbling even with us as a part of it, because it is trying to take over things it should not have power over. Sovereignty is so important. It really is. It is very anti-democratic to continue giving powers up to something you cannot control, which oddly enough sounds just like a bully. Give me your lunch money. Give me your lunch. Do my homework for me. Sounds very familiar to me. As far as I'm concerned, the Liberal Democrats should be annihilated at the next general election. The only people that will vote for them will be the ardent Ramonas who cannot see a way out because they're pathetic, sore losers. And those unfortunate enough to have not been eligible enough to vote in the referendum in 2016. Hopefully, you are wiped off the board this time. I hope you are, because at least while I can give you credit for being honest about your intentions are essentially you showing everyone your balloon knot and saying, kiss it.